Okay, welcome, and here is our little guide on how to get some research for game guide apps. We're going to be on Google for the most part, searching. So I haven't done this app in a while. Actually, my brother did this app. I haven't looked at this app in a while. So we're going to be just doing it from scratch together so that we learn as we go. So there are some typical keywords that you would need to use. You would type the name of the app, like Heyday, and then you would use guide. For one, you would use walkthroughs, you would use tips, start with guide, and then write these down on your strategy sheet to kind of keep track of. The strategies is another one you could use. So we're trying to gather as much information as we can to put into the app. So an app would typically take about an hour to 2 hours. It should not take more than 2 to do all this, because it is just simple searching and copy pasting. Strategies, and then walkthroughs and videos. Okay, so let's start with guide. Tap Heyday Guide, and let's just take a look at the first one. So I would open it in a new link so that we keep track of this page, so we don't have to keep going back and forth. And here, okay, that's a perfect menu that we have right here. So we can call one of the tabs, we can make, okay, let's take a look at how this one is laid out. We can make a tab, strategies and money making guide. We can put it over here as one of the tabs, and then we can make it a menu. You can see we have all these little bits of information. So we can make strategies and money guides as one of these options, right? And then when we click on it, it should go to another kind of menu like this, or like this. Oh, sorry, they're the same. There's different layouts. So I just showed you in the other videos how to make that one layout, and that would give you all the various color options. So we can just stick to that. It would give you a bunch of colors rather than just black. And yeah, you can choose the colors according to the kind of app that it is. Make the color changes, and I'll just quickly show you color changes here before I forget that. So this is how, if you're on that little section, read me, you can make the color changes over here. So see, this is represents black. This one represents different colors. So you would just click on this and you would choose your color. So 2 colors are usually good. You would choose a dark, and make sure they're dark colors, not light colors. So you can have a darker version and then a little lighter version of the same color. So this is brown and brown, right? And then the readme and sponsored app can stay these colors. You don't have to change those. But do change the app colors each time according to the app. So Heyday, we chose those colors because it's representation like of a farm, so it's kind of like a muddy color, right? If you did, again, Subway Surfers, it's like blue and gold, so you would have this kind of you'd have like this kind of color, maybe a little more gold, not a light color again, and then you would have a blue. So a little darker shade of the blue. So keep the apps consistent like that. Okay. Yeah, so here you would just click open and open this in a new tab. So that would be one of the, you can just copy and paste this information into an HTML page. Alright, so this would be all the menu options within that menu. So that's good, we're good for now. Let's look at the bottom of this, tips and tricks. Okay, so this is one menu. Let's see if this weeding is the same as this weeding. So let's open this in a new tab. Okay, so there's a lot of information just on weeding itself, which you could copy and paste. And here, it seems to be a little less. So you just have to kind of think of how you would lay it out. So trees and bushes, let's see if that's over here. Doesn't seem to be. Okay, so what can be here is, this could be Heyday strategy and money making guide. And then the next one could be basic money making principles. So that could be another tab. So you can have this as, you can have money making principles as one of these tabs, and then this tab would link to 2 more submenus, and this would be one title of one submenu, and then within the submenu you would have these submenus, information about this. Okay, so this would be a submenu, and then you would have this information here, and then another one is top tips and tricks. So that can be just a copy paste on its own. Tips and tricks can be one of its own tabs in another section. So it is a bit of complex layout for this one, but this has a lot of information as such. Okay, and this would be another one of its own money making and guide tips, and then another submenu here, and each of these would link to an HTML page. So just again, if you're ever confused, just look at this as an example and see how things are laid out. Okay. So let's close these two once you're done, and then open the next one. Six tips, tricks, and cheats. So keep this in mind. Never ever use the word cheats, and never use it on anything, including an HTML page. So don't have it as part of your menu on any word, like not tips, tricks, and cheats. Have no such thing as cheats. And when you're copy and pasting, make sure it's not there in the content or in the headline. It's mostly in the headline, so we just do not want it there because your app can get taken down for that reason, so we don't want that. Okay, so it's top 6 hints and tricks. Let's go find them, and I don't think they're actually even here. Yeah, they don't seem to be 6 tips and tricks, because there's nothing clickable over here, and it's just this little amount of information. Oh, okay, wait, hold on, let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, so I just made that click and it looks like they all came up. So there's 1, let's see if we can find 2. Yeah, click here, and 2, okay. So this could be... So we can make this one of a, we can make this even, we can make it here, tips and tricks. We can put that over there, let's say as tab 2, and then have all this information come out there. So tip number 1, so this, within tab 2 you can have tip number 1, tip number 2, stuff like that. You can do tips and tricks as that. Or you can have it in the home, in the tab 1, and have tips and tricks as one of the sections, and then lead that to a submenu with all these, like tip number 1, tip number 2, like that. And then in the heading of the tip number 1, you would write the main heading of this tip or trick. So this would be, you would type and copy paste the whole thing into a section of its own, into a menu type. So that would be coming, that would come here, number 1 here, and then the name, number 2 here, and then the name, and then each of these would link to an HTML page, and on that HTML page is what the content would be over here. So Heyday does have a lot. For some of them you might not find a lot of information, but the more information you have, the better, because they stay on the app for longer, and that is what we want. So again, you need to kind of be creative in your layout. And let's see what this is. This is again a lot of cheat stuff, so we might not be able to use it. Okay, you can use secrets. Okay. So cats and dogs. Okay, glitches I wouldn't necessarily put, but you can put secrets, and then since this is less information, you can just make secrets as one of the sections. Okay, and then you would just link it and put this all in the content. You don't have to make submenus for this because again it's very little content. So secrets, you can put all 3 in that in one content page. Glitches you wouldn't worry about. Hints can be its own little tab, or I mean its own little section here, which would lead to now all these sections, and this would be a submenu. This would be a main menu, a section, and then this would link to submenus with each of the content in there. Alright, and let's take a look at the next one. So again, be creative, there's no right or wrong way, but just be as organized as possible. So this would be something hard to copy, right? And copy paste, because of the layout. It's not very simple, and look at the way it is. There's like something within something within something. So this would be a good example of a URL link to copy. So you would call this, let's see what we can call this, official guide. Actually no, we don't want to use the word official, so just say hey day. Think of a name. We could think of something here. We can say hey day walkthroughs for this one, and then you would have that as a section, hey day walkthroughs. Maybe you can have it on tab 1, walkthroughs, and then you would create a submenu that would link to a submenu, and within the this would be all the titles within the submenu, and then you would just link. Now you would put an external URL link. Or sorry, this one would be an internal URL link, because you want them to stay inside the app, and it's not a video, and it's on Google Play Store, so it would be a URL. So if we go here and content, if this is a menu that we're creating, for example, you would add these as titles. Let's go back here for a second. Add these as titles, right? So you go type friend request over here, and then you would link to a URL. Put this URL, open this up here, friend request, open link a new tab. Let's copy this and paste it. Save, okay. And then the next one would be storage buildings. So type storage buildings. Close this, open this in a new link, and then paste it. Right, and again, we're doing this because it's a complex kind of website. It's not just a simple copy and paste with text. It's got everything, it's got links inside links, so we're just gonna link it directly there. Alright. So hope that makes sense. So then again, remember the keywords. Once you're done with all these, check out the various ones that are there. And if you have a lot of information, then you might not have to use all the keywords like walkthroughs or tips. But if you don't have enough information, then you do want to use those keywords, okay? So here we put hey day tips, now we changed it, but we've already looked at these two. So that comes under the keywords of guide and tips. So whatever's left, we can just check out if we don't have enough information on the first keyword. But I think 2 or 3 keywords is a good amount to use for enough information. Okay, and in the next video we'll talk about finding the right videos to put video links. Okay, hope that made sense again, and good luck.